Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm Connor Shaw.
No! God, please, no! 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 Fire! No!
I'm not personally a fan of glory kills, at least not the frequency of which they're expected of you. To me, it feels like enemies simply have a bit too much health, and the glory kills will lose their cool factor once you've seen the same animations play over and over.
You know, I don't know if you knew this, but if you don't want a glory kill, you don't have to glory kill. This might sound shocking to all of you, but there's other means to get your health other than glory killing. Fucking hell, this video is gonna be a goddamn nightmare. I mean, fuck. I have a friend named Deadkey who hates glory kills in the modern Doom games. So he just doesn't glory kill, like, ever. It's simple as that. I don't know what the fuck your problem is. And they're not there for cool factor, they're there for iframes, so you could absorb damage and you don't get killed by bullshit. Fucking hell, this video is gonna be a pain, isn't it? I'm gonna be honest with all of you. I have no idea why so many people request me to respond to this video. You guys are making me respond to a fucking fruitcake here, and I really don't want to. And this is going to be absolute fucking torture. So I hope you enjoy me being tortured to death. Especially you, fucking Misty, keeps telling me to make a response to it. Well, here you go. You're gonna drive me to the mental ward. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Yeah, Eternal adds some more variety, but in my opinion, I'd much prefer simply killing enemies with my plethora of firearms.
Then go fucking do that. Go kill enemies with your plethora of firearms. In fact, this game encourages you to do that. I don't know where the fuck you're getting this. Well, that's what you're doing right now. You're shooting demons with your firearms. What do you think you're doing in this game? You think you're fucking Rambo or using berserk mode, just meleeing everything? Are you fucking retarded? I know you're a fruitcake, but come on, man. Or it. Come on, it. Use your fucking brain for a moment.
Speaking of, Doom 2016's roster of weaponry is mostly maintained in Eternal, with some new ones to boot, but missing is the infinite ammo pistol used as a last resort when your supplies run dry. In lieu of this, the chainsaw, when used on foes in Doom Eternal, will spawn copious pools of ammo in a rainbow spray. Frankly though, this system feels excessive.
I really hope you're going to elaborate on that. This system feels excessive. Right. Do you even know what excessive means? Because I don't think you're using that word correctly here, mate. I mean, I would be very curious how you think the chainsaw is excessive. If anything, it was excessive in Doom 2016 because it was pointless, so.
In 2016, the chainsaw was simply a get-out-of-fight-free card.
Oh, you'd rather have a pussy weapon that, you know, oh no, I'm about to die. Oh no, I must use my pussy weapon. No wonder why you're trying to turn into a fucking fruitcake.
Depending on your fuel levels, you could use it to chop down all but bosses to bypass combat with them altogether. Useful for when you're low on health or supplies. In Eternal, the chainsaw with its slowly regenerating gasoline...
Slowly regenerating gasoline? You are telling me you can't wait 30 seconds to refill your ammo. I'm gonna tell you right now, mate, you're just sticking with one gun throughout your fucking gameplay, and because of that, you run out of ammo with one gun, and you come to the conclusion, oh, well, the gasoline isn't charging fast enough because I ran out of ammo with this one gun. Because you're clearly not weapon swapping at all. You're just sticking with one gun and hoping it gets you through the fucking mission. Also, I find your comment about the fucking chainsaw about 2016 very fascinating. I mean, the chainsaw is there to give you supplies and actually health if you're low on health and you need those iframes. You use the chainsaw in very different ways, not just for ammo. You can use it for ammo, sure, great for ammo, but again, it's there for iframes, and if you're really low on health and you have no other means to get health, fucking chainsaw is there for your life. So I don't know what the fuck. You must be really shit at this game, which no shit you are. Look at your gameplay. And I bet you're a fucking snowflake when it comes to fucking blood and gore and shit.
Sees more use to supplement an artificial lack of ammo. Weapons ammo supplies are noticeably lower in Eternal, and drops seem fewer and farther between.
Yeah, because the game wants you to constantly swap your weapons, which you're not doing. And you're sucking balls at it, actually. Artificial lack of ammo. I can't... I love it when people use flowery words in their fucking videos, like artificial. It's super artificial. It's excessive. Like, okay, calm the fuck down. You're not trying to get an English PhD here, mate. How about you just talk like a normal fucking human being for a second? This is why I don't like scripts in videos, because people, when they write a fucking script, they make it sound all flowery and put all these big boy words in it, and it's just like, why? It just makes you sound fucking up your own ass. Well, yet again, it does like being up men's asses, so.
This effectively forces you to chop up a lightweight enemy every once in a while, and to compensate for this, basic enemies seem to infinitely spawn in areas you've long since cleared to serve as ammo caches.
Okay.
And that's a problem because? Maybe. Now, hear me out here. Maybe little strangler zombies are left after the end of arenas. Because maybe the game's trying to tell you, hey fucker, maybe you should refill your ammo before going to the next arena. So that's why you're full of ammo. Just a thought. I mean, maybe that's just using my brain for a moment, right? But again, this fruitcake doesn't understand what a brain is.
The gameplay loop of ranged combat to chainsaw to ranged combat isn't necessarily bad.
Excuse me, what?
Holy fuck, your lisp is bad, first of all. Secondly, ranged combat to chainsaw to ranged combat. What the fuck are you playing? Are you playing Call of Duty? Or are you playing fucking Doom? If you're playing Doom at long range combat and then going up to enemies to chainsaw, you're doing something wrong, first of all. Like, you're doing something completely fucking wrong. Look at my gameplay. I can't believe so many fucking people, even this video came out a month ago, they misinterpret what the game wants them to learn, and this whole other idea how you're supposed to play the game. And they're forcing you to play like this. And it's just hilarious to me, and the irony behind it, because even the way that they're playing the game, it's getting them through, and you could play it that way. There's such a better way to play the game. Stop looking at the game like Doom 2016 for a fucking moment, and look at it as a whole new fucking game, right? If you look at it in that perspective and see that it's a revolutionary FPS game because of the way the game wants you to play it, the core mechanic of the game, it's not just long range and chainsaw. Long range and chainsaw. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard, right up there with DW Terminator. What a fucking dumb fuck.
But it feels more railroaded than 2016's freeform fights.
Liar!
2016's freeformed fights. No, 2016's not freeformed. First of all, once you understand how to break the game, that's like the best option every fucking time to play that game. Freeformed fights. What's so freeformed about the fights in Doom 2016? Oh, great. Siege mode, because it's the ultimate fucking mod. What's the ultimate mod in Doom Eternal? You could say the Destroyer Blade, sure, but the Destroyer Blade has a lot of fucking resistance to it, to making it balanced, like reducing your movement speed significantly, along with the long recharge time. Instead of the fucking Siege mode where it takes a millisecond to charge and you can still move perfectly fine and just shoot the fucker, and it takes 2 shots. Freeformed my fucking ass in railroady. You saying that you have to go from long range to chainsaw disproves it being railroady, because it's a fucking fast-paced action game that's up close in your fucking face. How did you even play this game long range? I'm trying to figure that out. There's Hell Knights there and Barons of Hell that make that not possible. How the fuck did you play this long range? I'm more curious how the fuck you did that than anything.
The chainsaw feels necessary rather than being a fun option.
Oh no, they made it where you have to funnel into the game's mechanics and use them. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh no, I guess we should have another Halo 5 situation where they made the campaign first and then decided to add all these fucking movement ability options, but not use the fucking campaign to funnel you with its mechanics. Just whatever, who gives a shit? You have them. You never have to use them. Who cares? Yeah, that's great. I love that in 2016 because, honestly, I never used the fucking chainsaw. It was pointless. So, I don't understand fucking people's standards. It's like, a game should make mechanics and make you use them. Like, why give you something, right? Like, let's say I was creating a game, and I thought, hey, you know what would be cool in my video game? What if I added a time teleportation thing, like how Titanfall 2 has on that one mission, right? Well, imagine that as like a whole game mechanic through a whole game, right? But like, what if I just made it where it's a straight line and you just shoot enemies and you don't really have to use it? You have no benefits of using the time thing. Then why the fuck do I have it? There's no point of it. So what's the problem with them taking the chainsaw from 2016 being completely fucking ass and pointless to it having a purpose and help with the the game loop. What the fuck is wrong with that? Or are you just too much of a fucking moron and you can't look at it that way?
Grenades are self-explanatory, but do have the new feature of serving as a quick tool for dispatching cacodemons, the floating meatball things, by popping a grenade into their open mouth to instantly leave them open for a glory kill. While intuitive enough, I found myself only ever using grenades or the combat shotgun sticky grenade to deal with these types of enemies. It's the most effective way after all, and with so many other foes to deal with at any given time, it would be a waste to do anything else.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I have to wonder, you do know that it's not wasting ammo if you use your shotgun in any other way, right? Like, you used it for the cacodemon to shoot a grenade in its mouth. Okay, did you know that the splash damage from a grenade allows armor to drop faster, along with health? Did you know that? I bet you fucking didn't, because you played the game once and criticized the shit out of it with your shitty script, and then fucked a fucking twig, I guess. So, maybe you're just a fucking moron. Which I already knew that. Oh yes, it's the most effective way to take out a cacodemon, which in reality it's not at all, actually. It's just one of the many options. Do I really have to go into this again, like why the grenade isn't the best option for a cacodemon? Do I really have to like reiterate this fucking point? I don't feel like I want to, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my EFAP response and just play that, because why go over the same shit again? I wonder how well that type of argument would hold up in any other video game. Because I can tell you right fucking now, the way that argument sounds to me is something that I could probably flip with no context. You would probably think I'm wrong too, like you are right now. So let me do that. Rags, you like the game Mordhau, don't you? I do too. It's a very neat game. But if you're not using the maul, you're essentially stupid for doing any other strategy. Literally stupid. You're just a fucking moron. You should be using the maul 100% of the time, because it's a 2-hit weapon if you have heavy armor, and a 1-hit weapon if you have light armor. And someone that doesn't know how to play the game worth a shit could go on a fucking killing spree with the fucking thing. I would say that kind of breaks the combat, wouldn't you? Let's use Doom 2016. I guess you're essentially stupid if you're not using siege mode, double barrel shotgun, the whole fucking game. You're essentially stupid if you don't do that, because you're doing the dominant strategy over and over again. You see what the problem is with your shitty criticism here? And I see people always defending this, even with this little video I made earlier. People were defending this point because it takes less ammo to waste a shotgun shell than shoot a ballista. Shooting it with a rocket ballista is actually faster and more efficient, because one, you don't have to wait for the shitty fucking grenade swallow animation, which is about 1.5 seconds, which, believe it or not, that can fucking kill you if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And on top of that, you have to be very accurate to get that mouth shot. If you don't get that mouth shot, that might fuck you over even harder. And let's say you have about 6 or 7 cacodemons in front of your ass. Do you really expect to grenade every single one of those cacodemons and kill them in the exact same way and come out with the same results? There's a good you can do it. Oh yeah, you can definitely do it. It's not going to be fucking easy. It wouldn't be as easy as just pulling out the destroyer blade, charge it all the way up, slice them. One hit. That's it. Like 4 of them are gone. Or how about just a simple rocket ballista combo, then meat hook right up to it and glory kill, you get armor and health. That easy. Then you're still in the air, then you do another rocket ballista, do the same thing to another cacodemon. Switch it up if you want. There's a whole vast majority of different ways to take out these enemies. And consuming your ammo because a ballista shot's more valuable, which you don't really explain why. It's not valuable at all, actually. I sometimes just fucking shoot my ballista at fodder because why the fuck not? Because at the end of the day, I can get all the ammo I need with just one button away, and I can work with the ammo. And because the game is telling me, hey, try these weapon combos, swap between them. What's wrong with that? What exactly is wrong with the game teaching you these specific things and making you learn from them? And I guess this could be a point of him saying the game's restrictive. Just because you played 11 hours of the game doesn't make you a fucking professional to understand the actual mechanics and how the game is supposed to function. I understand this game played a lot different than other FPS games. People played this game like a modern FPS game. Some people play it as a classic FPS game. That's the problem. It's not a classic or a modern FPS game. This game is honestly revolutionary for what it accomplished here. It took what made Far Cry 5 games so interesting with all these unique abilities and combos that you could put together and force onto the enemy and get resources back. That's what the game is. It's a first-person Devil May Cry game. It's just that people don't fucking understand it. And because of that, people complained about it because they played it in a very specific way that they think how FPS games play. If you widen your perspective and look at the full box and you see how it's supposed to be played, you'll have a lot of creative freedom there, because weapon combos is a big core mechanic of the game. You can say that's restricting you, but at that point, what game isn't? What game isn't forcing you to use its mechanics? Risk of Rain is forcing you to kill enemies, get items, start the teleporter, charge the teleporter, next arena. That's what the game is forcing you to do to get into its fun zone, you can say. Every game has its fun zone. Fallout New Vegas. I love Fallout New Vegas, but you can say that game is restrictive. You want to know why? You have to collect resources. You have to talk to people. You have to explore to complete the game. You have to do these. They are forcing you into its mechanics. And it's so fucking stupid to hear people complain about this type of shit. This is the first game I've ever heard people complain that the game is forcing you to play by its mechanics. I don't understand why people have a hard time wrapping this around their fucking little brains.
The Flame Belch doesn't deal damage of any note, but will make any damage dealt to inflamed foes drop armor packs to further increase Doomguy's survivability. However, upon hearing of these two mechanics, you may assume igniting a frozen enemy would shatter or melt them, but no, you're left with an enemy that's frozen and burning and taking no damage from either.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Because they're there to help you do more damage, you fucking idiot. Alright? Okay, so this is such a dumb point. Oh, the game doesn't, make the enemy melt when it's on fire. It's like, why would the enemy melt when it's on fire? That is retarded. So that right there is really stupid. So let me explain something very clear. When you flame belch and ice bomb an enemy and you use the sticky bomb, did you know that there's a big group of enemies, you can get a big parade of health and armor that help you survive longer? I don't know if you knew this. So why the fuck does a little tiny aesthetic of why does the enemy not melt when he's on fire and ice, and why does it not do any damage, is like such a minute point to the combat that you're completely forgetting what the combat is. You said it yourself, the ice bomb allows you to do more damage. It also allows you to get health. What does the flame belch do? Allows you to get armor. What if you combine the two with a big group of enemies? You get a parade of awesome fucking shit. So maybe if you just turn on your brain for a fucking moment, you fucking fruitcake, maybe we would understand that. Even after the game has had fucking loading screens with tutorials telling you all this interesting shit, even when before you start a new fucking campaign, the first fucking thing that pops up on your goddamn screen every fucking time, which I think it's a bug, is the game welcoming you to the game and seeing somebody use these two fucking mechanics together to get a parade of armor and health. How did you pass this shit up? Are you just mentally retarded? Like, worrying about such a small detail to the overall combat really tells me that you are a very enclosed person, doesn't know how to look at a game objectively. You just like come up with shitty points just for shitty points. And also because you're a fruitcake. Fruitcakes are known for being very dumb people, because for some reason they wish they had a fucking vagina instead of a dick and balls, even though they were born that way, because they had a horrible childhood of their parents wanting a fucking woman or some shit. I don't give a fuck. But if you're gonna criticize a game, criticize it right, so you're not looking like a fucking dumbass.
But the Blood Punch can bash foes to bits. Every time you get a glory kill, your Blood Punch will charge, and when it's fully charged, striking enemies with melee will enact a powerful swing in a radius.
Nice waste of a Blood Punch on an imp. Just solid use of the game's mechanics. I wonder if this guy's gonna bring up like any of the Blood Punch weird shit that it does. Probably not, because he actually doesn't know how to criticize this game. like a lot of people don't. But we're gonna see if he brings anything about the blood punch that's actually right. If there's one section that I feel like people would actually nail down, would be the blood punch. But let's see, right? I'm not gonna give it too much credit now.
Dealing massive damage and knocking armor off of certain kinds of demons. I enjoy blood punch overall, however, in contrast, the normal melee attack does literally no damage.
I don't like this, man. I just don't like this at all. This is really shitty. This is like some stinky garbage that you're putting out here.
You have to be fucking kidding. How does everyone skip over the real big problem with blood punch? Which is the fucking bugginess of it. For some goddamn reason, sometimes you will go up to an enemy to go glory kill it and blood punch just randomly goes off. There's the other times where you punch a fucking button and blood punch just randomly works. It's fucking weird. And we all know why, because there's 4 different things that one button does. Controls base melee, blood punch, interaction key. Well, actually, I guess it's just 3 things. Why did I say 4 earlier? Whatever, who gives a shit? But really, your big problem is that the base melee doesn't do any damage. Fucker, you have a super punch. Fucking use it. Use the fucking super... Why are people so uptight that you don't have a normal melee in this game? I don't understand that. So, you want the developers, instead of them giving you just giant shockwave punch that just decimates enemies in your surroundings, you'd rather have a little piss-ass punch that doesn't do jack fuck. Alright. I can see that you have shitty standards for video games, which is fine. You could go right up there with Rags, DW, Terminator, Synthetic Man that doesn't know jack shit about video game design. It's fine, right? But one day, one fucking day, can someone grow a goddamn brain cell and actually criticize this game correctly? Because it's fucking weird how people don't criticize this game correctly. You can make very solid arguments about Doom Eternal. You really fucking can. But every single fucking person misses the mark. They just absolutely miss it. Fucking annoying. It's so fucking annoying.
It slightly staggers enemies backwards, but unlike 2016, you can't resort to swinging away when pressured.
You can't resort to swinging away in pressure. That's what the fucking blood punch is for, you fucking fruitcake.
What I'm trying to say is, the gameplay mechanics of Doom Eternal all feel as though they were developed independent of one another, with no consideration as to their interactions with one another.
Holy shit, that is bold to fucking say. Because if anything, that was their main premise, was making all these mechanics work seamlessly together. Like, as I explained earlier, in How to Stay Alive in Doom Eternal, is using all of the mechanics the game has given you all at once, basically. I compare this game to Devil May Cry for a very specific reason. And I don't think a lot of people understand that Doom Eternal is a first-person Devil May Cry game. Devil May Cry, you use all of your abilities all at once to do as much damage to the enemy as possible. And you are just clicking away on a fucking keyboard or a controller. I think you play Devil May Cry with a controller. When you're playing Doom Eternal, you are pressing every single button that you can all at once in a parade of enemies, alright? It is fucking glorious. And it's the only game that's actually been able to do this correctly, and why I still call it a revolutionary game. In fact, it's so revolutionary that it's been only a year of Doom Eternal being out, and I've seen countless games taking inspiration from Doom Eternal. Look at Shadow Warrior 3. I've never heard of this franchise, and I looked at a trailer of it, like the latest trailer, and I was like, holy fuck, quick swapping is a thing in this game. They're using the mechanics, and they're inspired by them. Ultra Kill was inspired by Doom Eternal. Fucking, for some reason, Resident Evil 8 was inspired by Doom Eternal's gunplay. People don't understand how revolutionary this game really is. They took a format of repetitive shooters, of Call of Duty era, of 2-weapon limits, and having regenerating health, and hiding behind cover, and hiding, and only using one gun, and reloading. Doom Eternal says, fuck all that shit, right? Let's make you use weapon combos instead, fucker. Use your fucking buttons on your goddamn controller / keyboard, and you click the fuck away, and you do as much damage as you can to that fucking cyber demon. That's what the game wants you to do. But you're so fucking up your own ass because you're a fucking bundle of sticks, and you don't understand what the game really wants you to do, and you're fabricating what it wants you drawing this wild illusion that the game is, see, the things don't interact well. I mean, you don't see a zombie melting because it's on fire. You just don't see it. So they're not connecting well together, and saying that the chainsaw is excessive without ever explaining why. Can people make good fucking reviews for once in their goddamn lives?
Freezing an enemy with an ice grenade and then lighting them on fire with your flamethrower leaves you with a burning icicle rather than melting them or dealing any damage.
That's when you use the guns to do damage. Weren't you complaining earlier that all you wanted to do was shoot demons? The game is giving you these mechanics. You use them, but you want them to do the damage instead of you shooting them with the guns. The fuck do you want from this game, mate?
Being slowed down in certain levels, drowned in pools of purple goo, leaves you with no method of faster transit.
You know, I've been responding to videos for a little time now, and I've noticed a little trend with certain reviewers when they come to talking about games. We're gonna use the line that he just used now as an example. So, we'll hear it one more time and I'll explain what I'm talking about here.
Being slowed down in certain levels, drowned in pools of purple goo.
Okay, so the big word there that I really want to highlight is him saying purple goo in certain levels. Now, looking at it at base value, if you've played the game, you'll be like, okay, yeah, it is certain levels, but being very hyperbolic about it, I would say. Because, one, there's only 2 levels with it, not including the DLCs. If you include the DLCs, you see it, what, 5 times throughout the whole game, including DLCs? But this little section he's showing here in Art Complex, are people just brain dead? I love it when people complain about the puzzles in this game and the platforming, and deliberately don't pay attention to the puzzles or platforming. Because you can skip this entire area, because the game, when you walk at the very edge of the fucking sewer before jumping down into the purple goo, you will notice there's a zombie down there. Do I have a weapon that has like a hook on it that I could just shoot at a zombie and swing off of? Isn't there a way I can do that in this? No, that's not possible. You can't hook off of an enemy. That's crazy. And of course, there is the first time you run into the purple goo in the second mission of Exultia, which I would say is the only bad section of it is when the Arachnotron comes down. But again, you could actually just not touch the purple goo at all and still jump around and move on a little tiny platform. You can completely evade all the purple goo in this game if you are very creative enough and know how to platform and know the movement, which is a good thing that the game is complimenting you for learning the movement in this game, which will help you in combat arenas. Like yeet hooking off of a zombie in this area with the purple goo will help you later in arenas, because you'll know, oh, I could just yeet hook off of an enemy and get more air that way, because again, the air is the safest spot in the entire game. You can stay in the air, you control the arena.
Despite the dash mechanic being introduced, melee attacks can shatter walls of steel and send giant blocks flying, but deal literally no damage to enemies without being charged with glory kills.
Now, this is the same problem that Rags had, but in a different context, right? If you remembered, in Rag's problem with the melee is that you have a blade at the end of your arm, but you don't use it for melee, and it's very strange. And I'm gonna say the same response that I said in this and that, which is, it's very delicate when you're a game developer and you're balancing your game. You choose what is more important, right? Having very solid game mechanics that work with the gameplay, or do we add something that's artificial that could potentially ruin the gameplay, to be fair? And if I was a developer, I would choose something that strengthens the gameplay every fucking time. Now, you might be wondering, how would base melee really disrupt the gameplay of Doom Eternal? It's very simple, right? Let's use 2016 for the example. 2016 was pointless while also being fucking broken. And how I explain that is that the melee in 2016 allowed you to stagger enemies, which allowed you to do more damage to enemies. Well, make you put more damage onto enemies when they're staggered, along with doing jack shit of damage on its own, right? So you can abuse the melee in the game. Like, you can absolutely abuse it to stun all of the enemies, just stun locking them with melee and just keep quick swapping them. It's very possible to do that. Or you could just shoot them with a siege mode and kill them in 2 shots. Either way, it's breaking the mechanics of the game. That's just utterly breaking the mechanics. And that's what Doom Eternal makes sure it doesn't do, is breaking the mechanics by giving you cheap routes like that. When it does give you a get out of jail free card, you have to use it sparingly and strategically, like the BFG, the Crucible. We're not gonna count the hammer because that shit was broken from the start. Don't get me fucking started on the hammer. So in the long run, this is a very shitty point because at the end, it's an artificial change that you want more than a structural change to the gameplay. Does that make sense to a lot of people? I hope I'm making this very clear. I was sitting here for 5 minutes trying to figure out how I can word this, and hopefully I'll word it correctly to all of you wonderful people watching this video.
Combat is meant to be fast-paced and ongoing, but is constantly interrupted by tutorial pop-ups or cutscenes indicating where to go next.
Really? You're gonna use that? The combat's supposed to be fast-paced, but it constantly interrupts you to tell you where to go. Well, fucking dumbass. I guess you didn't pay attention, but did you notice those cutscenes usually happen near the end of a fucking arena? Like, it doesn't happen in mid-arena, because that would essentially get you killed. The only time that does come up in mid-arena is that one time on Urdak. And granted, I do think the cutscenes are a bit fucking annoying, but it doesn't stop in mid-action. That's just absolutely retarded. Yeah, there'll be a few fucking imps laying around, but they're fucking imps. They die in one shot by a precision bolt. You can handle that, okay? I want to make sure I make this clear. I'm not defending the cutscenes, right? I don't like them either, which is why I have a mod that removes them. But they don't disrupt you in mid-combat and slows the fucking combat down. They happen after the arenas. I just want to make sure I get that clear, because the internet's a strange place where people like to take you out of fucking context and skew your arguments. It's very bizarre. I'm not gonna point any fingers, hey Kyle, but it happens.
Seeing as the level design is doing you no favors in making that clear.
Oh no!
Wait, so let me get this straight. The level design doesn't make it clear to you when it has green fucking lights telling you exactly where to go, along with the cutscenes telling you where to go. Are you telling me you actually got lost in this game for a moment? I hope you're not saying that. No. How do you get lost in Doom Eternal? That is insane. How do you get lost in Doom 2016? There's fucking lights that tell you where to go. What? You actually got lost in this? You complain about the cutscenes telling you where to go, then you complain that you get lost. Like, make up your fucking mind, you fucking dumb fuck.
Platforming off the beaten path to find secret extra lives and collectibles is encouraged, yet invisible walls and kill triggers are placed in otherwise innocuous positions.
So, this is an interesting point, because I have a problem with invisible walls in this game too, but they're more of, just walls that are outside of the map for no fucking reason, or certain walls that, like, allow you to skip around certain puzzles. That's my problem with the invisible walls, but the invisible wall that you use as an example is the invisible wall that allows you to skip the entire game. The entire mission, basically. Right. So, I don't know. This is a very interesting topic, right? Because I remembered Rags, doing his typical snipes at products that he doesn't like in their Resident Evil 8 breakdown. He mentioned that certain invisible walls in games that seem like you should be able to go right over them don't allow you to, and then he uses Doom Eternal as an example. And I find this an interesting topic, right? Because you get people that complain that the platforming is bad in this game, right? When all it is there is to teach you the movement for the combat. And if the main focus of the game is the combat and killing the enemies going through the arenas, why would you want to skip all of that? Unless if you're speed running, I guess. I don't know. It is an interesting topic. I'm not gonna say you're flat out like fucking wrong for this or you're a moron, unlike your other points, but it is an interesting thing to talk about. And I would be curious what everyone else thinks. Do you think a game should allow you to have all these movement mechanics and allow you to just move and go wherever the fuck you want? And the games that put these invisible walls with all these movement mechanics and stop you from doing it is bad. I don't know if it's necessarily bad. I wouldn't say that far. I would say it's not for a certain audience. but I don't know. I would be curious what people think about that.
Those last two connect to one another quite well, by the way, as plenty of times tutorials or cutscenes would pop up in the middle of platforming, and during the time the screen takes to fade back into gameplay, the game is still going, meaning you'll end up falling and dying or being blasted by enemies you're in the middle of dealing with.
Okay, listen here, you fucking sausage fest loving motherfucker. Firstly, right, you don't die if you fall in the platforming in this game, unlike 2016, where if you take just a little misstep to the left, you're just fucking dead. And that's bullshit, and you have to restart a checkpoint. Secondly, when those scenes come up, like I said earlier, it's only when the arena is done there's a few imps or just straggler zombies around, which you could just leave them. You don't have to kill them. Or you can if you want to get some chainsaw fuel. And you're complaining, oh no, I have to kill a one-shot enemy. How terrible. Oh no, this is horrible. This is just absolutely terrible. You don't know how to criticize a game worth a fuck, do you?
Now, to be clear, the tutorial pop-ups can be fully disabled. However, the cutscenes, while skippable, still activate without warning.
Not saying this is a good defense for it, but there is a mod to take out the cutscenes, which is really nice. Not saying it elutes the problem, because I don't like the fucking cutscenes either. And if we're gonna go by the vanilla game, it is a fucking problem once you've played the game for a long time. So, okay, you have 1 point on the chalkboard. Good for you, man. And I think that's the only fucking point he's ever going to get right throughout this whole video.
The number of abilities on the HUD bound to different keys across the keyboard, it's like playing an MMO with the Marathon Man pace of, well, Doom.
So let me ask you this. What's wrong with you pressing different keys across your keyboard to play a game? I mean, I would be curious if you've ever played a Mortal Kombat game that deals with, like, different abilities and combos and using them all at once, or, you know, of course, Devil May Cry. I would be curious what you think of those games, because you have to constantly use different combos and all this shit, and balance all of this out. And if anything, those fucking, especially Devil May Cry 5, is way more complex than this game. Just extremely fucking complex. And I would be very curious what you think of that. Because so far, right now, all this sounds like you fucking whining. You want some fucking cheese with your wine? Oh wait, I forgot, you're a fucking fruitcake, so you'll probably want 2 twigs and a berry.
Some mechanics are outright competing with each other in their intended purpose. The chainsaw and crucible, the sword that is, could absolutely have been combined together into one weapon bound to one key.
What? Why do you want the crucible and the chainsaw bound to one key? They serve 2 completely different fucking purposes. One allows you to kill every fucking demon you ever want with just 1 fucking click away. And the other one is there for strategic purposes, for you to get ammo for your iframes or to get health. Or if you want to get health and armor, you can. Why should these bind to 1 key? You want to go fucking searching around for fucking gas tanks again? Like Doom 2016? And then what if you run out of gas tanks? What if you're all out of ammo? You're just fucked, I guess, like you are in 2016. But, you know, people don't want to bring that up. When there is an actual moment where you can get soft lock in 2016 if you waste all of your gas canisters and use all of your ammo. You're soft locked. But no one wants to bring that shit up. The real problem with Doom Eternal is that the crucible and the chainsaw aren't tied to the same key. Yeah, that's the problem.
They serve the same theoretical function of quickly eliminating a close-range target to save on ammo.
They are not the same. What the fuck? You can't go with a chainsaw and go kill a fucking cyber demon with it. To reserve ammo, why would you be using a chainsaw? Use the chainsaw to get fucking ammo, not reserve ammo, you fucking dumbass fucking bundle of sticks. Holy shit, no wonder why your parents want to abandon your ass. Okay, listen, you fucking fruitcake. I keep calling you a fruitcake because honestly, I don't know what else to fucking call it. It doesn't like being called like a human, so I'm gonna call it a fucking it. So listen, you worthless pile of shit, alright? They don't serve the same fucking purpose. One is for you to get ammo and for iframes, while the other one is just a quick kill animation to get rid of a giant demon. I don't understand why. Fucking hell, this is dumb. This is fucking retarded.
Having 2 instant kill melee weapons with different fuel sources is excessive and confused. There are new arc vials.
Can I bring up this guy's pronunciations for some of these fucking enemies. Arc Vials? Caca Demons? What the fuck? You want people to call you a fucking cross-dresser freaky shit, but you can't even call the demons by their right names. You know, that's insulting to demons. And you know what? Because of that, I am done with this fucking video. Because this was torture. I watched the rest of the last 10 minutes of the fucking video. He just goes on about the fucking story, which I don't give a shit. He kind of touches on some of the bugs in the game. And he talks about the menu being confusing, which I don't know how the fuck you get confused with Doom Eternal's menu. If I'm gonna be honest with you, if you get confused with Doom Eternal's menu, you might be legally retarded. Just throwing that out there. Which I already knew you were, because you like to parade as a fruitcake, so. Yeah, I'm done. This was painful. Go fuck you, Misty, for making me fucking respond to this. And, yeah. Get the fuck off my channel.